Hey guys, what's up? Today I am super excited to share this DIY video with you guys. So I'm going to be walking you through step by step how I do this custom string art that you can do with any pattern or stencil that you want. I chose arrows, so that's what I'll be showing you. And then also how I do these awesome glitter top painted mason jars that you can use to store your pins or makeup brushes or put flowers in them. And last, I'll show you how I paint or write perfectly on a chalkboard with perfect lettering because I don't have the best handwriting. So let's go ahead and get started. This first DIY is probably my favorite, and it is arrow string art. So you're gonna need a piece of wood, and I have a gallery wall above my mantle that I knew I wanted this piece to go. So I took the dimensions over to Home Depot, had them cut me a piece of wood that size, and then you wanna make sure that you paint it whatever color you want. I wanted mine to be white, and don't forget to paint the sides as well. And then you want to let this dry overnight because you don't want to be messing with this while it's tacky. Then you want to get your stencils. So I actually made mine online. I just went to pickmonkey.com and did an arrow, and then I knew that I wanted 3 of them, but 4 fit on a page at blockposters.com, which is basically where you can upload any image and tell it how many pages you want it printed on, and it will do that for you, because if you just try to print it, most of the time your printer's going to try to fit it all and smush it on one page. So that is how I did this, and now I'm just cutting out the stencil. And I chose an arrow, but you could honestly do this with anything. I think a deer head outline would be really awesome as well. And if your stencil has multiple pieces, you want to go ahead and tape those together on the back so that they stay in place, and then you want to place them wherever you want. So I'm just kind of eyeballing where I want these to be. It doesn't have to be exact. And then you want to go ahead and roll up some tape and tape it down under onto your painted piece of wood so that it stays exactly where you want it and it doesn't shift when you got all the nails going on. So this is definitely the most fun part. You need a big old box of nails and a hammer. And my biggest tip for this is make sure you hammer some nails right at the corner points and then fill in any edges in between. You can make these nails spaced as far away as you'd like or as close together. It's really your personal preference, but you can kind of see how I'm doing it. The biggest tip is just make sure you have it where any of the corners are. Then you want to peel the stencil out, and I find that using a pair of tweezers helps kind of get it all out, especially if one of your nails nailed down a little chunk. Then take your string. So I wanted to use black string for this arrow, so just tie a little knot around one of the nails, and make sure, by the way, that your nails have a flat top. That way the string isn't going to slip off. And then you just want to start weaving this in and out onto your nails in the shape of whatever you're doing. So in our case, it's an arrow. So I'm just going around, I'm kind of looping each of the nails, and sometimes they would come up on some and I'd have to go back and do the last couple. It's kind of tedious and it's a little time consuming, but I think the finished product is so cute. Now for the head portion of the arrow, I wanted this to be all different kinds of string going everywhere. None of it makes any sort of sense. It's really just a jumbled up mess of string, and actually my string was literally getting jumbled up right now, so that just made everything so much better. But I wanted this part of the arrow to just kind of be string going everywhere. Then I wanted the black string on the rest of the arrow to be a little bit darker, so I'm just going over it. I think I did 3 or 4 passes of the string in total, and I also made sure that I was looping it to where it was showing up on both sides of the nail instead of one. I have to admit, when I did the second and third arrow, I felt like I was getting better and better at it. I almost wish that I had just filmed the last one, but of course, eager beaver me, I was like, no, you gotta go ahead and get it filmed. So I ended up doing the second arrow gold, and then the bottom arrow I did another black one. And now for our glitter top mason jar. So you guys might have seen this in my office tour video because I've actually made these before. You're gonna need 3 mason jars. Go ahead and take the lids off, and you can just discard that middle section of the lid. You don't need that. and then you just want to take some paint and start painting your jars. You can totally pour the paint into the jar and swirl it around so that none of the paint's on the outside, it's all on the inside. I find that that uses so much more paint. It literally takes, I swear, like 5 or 6 times the paint, and it also takes forever to dry, and a lot of it is like just kind of chunky and goopy. I've done it both ways, and this is the way that I prefer, so I'm just painting the outside. And you can apply as many coats of paint as you like. The less you do, the more translucent it's gonna look, and then it'll get more and more opaque with each layer that you do. So I did a teal one and a baby pink, which kind of looks like a baby shower now that I look at it, and then a cream one. Then for the outside rim of the jar, you're going to want to take some Mod Podge and glitter. I'm using gold glitter because that is the color that I like. And you just want to go ahead and do a thin layer of Mod Podge all over the outside and top of this lid. And then you want to pour glitter on it, get it all over. Anywhere that the Mod Podge is, the glitter is going to stick. And then you want to repeat this. So do the Mod Podge again and then the glitter again. And do this on all of your lids. Set the glitter and make sure that it doesn't come off and get everywhere and stuff. I'm spraying it with the Mod Podge Spray Sealer, and this is in the super high shine. Then you want to let it sit. Do not touch it for 24 hours. I know that is difficult, but when it's all said and done, you're going to be thankful that you kind of let this seal and stuff. Then you just want to screw the lids on, and you can use this to organize your pins and your pencils on your desk, or you can use it at your vanity for some makeup brushes, or you can take some fake flowers and use it as a little vase. I got these fake roses at Michael's, and they look really real. So I'm not exactly sure if I'd call this last project a DIY. It's more of a how-to, but if you're anything like me, then you probably don't have amazing Pinterest-worthy handwriting, but you can trace a little bit. So this is great if you want to do a really awesome chalkboard, or in my case, I'm just doing a black piece of paper with a chalkboard marker, and then I'm going to put it in a frame and put it next to my coffee maker. So I just am taking the black piece of paper and taping it down so it doesn't move around. Then you want to take your printed out piece of paper that has the font and the type exactly how you want it. So I made this again on PicMonkey.com, and this is one of my favorite sayings. It's, you can't buy happiness, but you can buy coffee, and that's pretty much the same thing. And I did this using 4 different fonts and a cute little heart outline. Right now I'm just trimming up the sides so that I know kind of exactly where it goes. So now you want to cover the entire back of the paper with chalk, mainly where you can see where the letters are. You can trace them if you want, but I find just doing this is easier. When you flip it over onto the chalkboard, once you let the chalkboard marker dry, you can wipe away any of the loose chalk if you want to. On a black piece of paper, it's a little bit more difficult, but I find that it kind of gives it a little bit more of a chalkboard effect. So you just want to go over anywhere that you can see you have the lines, then flip it back over and tape it into place. And now you just want to trace everything that you want to transfer over to your chalkboard or paper. You don't have to fill in all the letters, you really just need to get the outline, because then we're going to go back over it with the chalkboard marker. So now when you peel the top piece of paper away, you will see that the chalk has transferred and you see something that you can completely trace. So you're just going to go over it in a chalkboard marker. Kind of be careful that your hands and arm as you're tracing aren't completely rubbing all the chalk on the bottom of the paper off. I probably would have done this in like 3 sections if I would have thought it through. When you're done tracing, you want to make sure that you let this sit for about 2 hours before you try to wipe away any of the dusty chalk, because that's really going to give your chalkboard marker time to set. Like I said, if you're using a real chalkboard, the dusty stuff is going to come right up, but it's going to leave the chalkboard marker unless you wash it off. With a piece of paper, it's a little trickier, but I still think that it looks great in a frame, and I put it next to my coffee maker in my kitchen, and I love it. Alright guys, so that's it. Thank you so much for watching. Make sure to click to watch my healthy lunches for work or school, or the Bean Boozled challenge that I filmed with Swoozy. And if you have any other video requests, make sure to leave them in the comments below, and I will see you guys with my next video. Bye!